Greetings, welcome to AIML campus. Today we are going to learn about decision making and error handling. In this video, we are going to understand how if, else, and elif is used to make decisions and also understand how indentation works. To start off with, we are going to see an example where we will take the what is the weather in a variable. Like over here, we have seen the weather is stored in a variable named weather and the weather is sunny. Then we are gonna take if greetings, welcome to AIML campus. Today we are gonna learn about decision making and error handling. So to start off with, to make decisions, we are gonna use methods such as if, elif, and else. Now imagine if we are writing a program to understand what to wear when the weather is like sunny, rainy, or something else. So we can write a simple program by storing what the weather is in a variable named weather, like over here we have done. Then we will take what the weather is and put it over if, like if the weather is sunny, then it will say we should wear glasses. And else if, for that we will write else the weather is rainy, it will say to take an umbrella. And else, if both of those conditions are not met, it will say to dress warmly. So to understand how if and else work, it's basically how we say it. If this, then do that, and if not, then else do this. Over here we can see the weather is equal to the string sunny, as we can see over here. Thus it is saying to wear glasses. Now you might be wondering why we have put spaces over here. Now, this is because we use indentation in Python to separate where this type of code belongs to. So as you can see, if weather is equal to sunny, it will say to wear glasses. And because we have put spaces over here, that's why the print classes is inside the if function. If it was not there, it would be outside of weather function. So if we see this, if we run it, we will say we get wear sunglasses. It's a bright day. But if we remove the indentation over here and then rerun it, we get we get it's a wear glasses. It's a bright day. But but if the sunny weather is like if we change the string and make it like this, then even though the weather is sunny, it will not say to wear glasses. It will just say it's a bright day because it's a bright day is not inside the if weather function, like the if function. To understand it more clearly, you can think like if we put an indentation or a tab space, then that part of code will be like just above the code block of this. Like when we put a semicolon over here, then the code below it should be after one indentation. But if there is another semicolon, then it should be after two indentation. Now, as you can see, we are getting an error because the if statement is empty. Thus, to solve it, we can just do a tab and then the error will be solved. As you can see, that's how it works. Indentation provides a proper alignment to code blocks to ensure the spells work correctly. In our case, the codes work correctly. Now, to handle mishaps in magic, we use try and expect. When we are talking about magic, we are talking about our code. So, there is a process known as dividing portions. So, if we want to divide portions or any number of object between people, and we there is like zero people, so we will obviously get a zero divisor error because you can't divide a number by zero, right? So, to do that, we use try and expect. So it will gonna try the code to see if it works. So over here, when we try to divide it, we get the error. Thus, it will expect zero divisor error and thus print it cannot divide by zero. Use a different spell, like change the formula or something. As you can see, that's what printed in the output. There is also another type of error known as index error. Index error occurs use when we have a problem like this. For example, we have only two ingredients, eye of newt and a toe of a frog. But when we try to get the fifth ingredient, which is not in the list, thus it will give us an index error because there is no fifth ingredient in the list. Thus, we get we can catch it with the expect and then print the value. Print ingredients not found in the list. As we can see, it is not found in the list. But if we do something like this, then we will see that it is showing toe of a frog, which is the first ingredient in the list. In the list, we start the counting from zero and then we go on. Similarly, we can also see this kind of code where we don't know what kind of error might pop up. So we just store the error in an exception E and then just print the E. As you can see over here, we try to divide a number, but we don't know what kind of error it might cause. It might cause index error. It might cause zero divisor error. So that's why we used except exception as E, and then we just print the exception E over here, thus knowing which kind of error was given. Try and accept or use to handle the errors to make it easier for programs to handle edge cases. Now, zero divisor error and index error specifically occur when when we are trying to division and while handling with list we get the index error, and while handling with division we get zero division error. Now we can also try to like bring up custom errors. So you might be wondering that how do we create our own errors, because it might be possible that this is just not enough for us. So we try to engage by creating our own custom error by using a syntax known as raise. Now, how does the raise function work? So over here we have created a function. A function works similarly to how we are using print. We just give it a input and then it gives the output as it is designed for. So over here we have created a function which takes the quantity and after that it gives us whether we can add it or we can't. Like over here it says if the quantity is less than 0, then the it will raise a error which will be raise value error. That would be ingredient quality must be positive. Over here we can see that it will gonna print added quantity units of ingredient if the quantity is not less than 0. As we can see over here, we have used add ingredients and it is -3. Thus, it will expect the value error as E and thus printing the E. And the E is ingredient quality must be positive. As we can see over here, that's what printed over here. Now, creating custom errors for specific condition is very important because when we are coding with multiple people, it might be possible that we are introducing new kinds of error. Thus, prompting their them to on the terminal helps other coders understand it properly. Now, we're gonna understand a very important concept known as increment and decrement. Increment and decrement are used to increase the value of a variable by a certain amount of time. Like over here, when we are trying to do increment, for example, let's say we have a base power of 10 and a base mana of 20. Now, whenever we use a spell, we will increase our power by 1 by consuming 1 mana. Thus, we will write power plus equal 1, meaning power equal power plus 1. Thus, when we do it, we get the power of 11. Same goes with mana. Mana is minus equal 1, meaning mana equals mana minus 1. Thus, we get the value of 19 over here. These are very important. Increment and decrement have a very important role in Python because using those, we can iterate over loops and decrement them and making sure that loops end perfectly. Not we can also increase the value by a multiple on different numbers. Instead of 1, we can use 2, 3, or any other integer, and thus decrementing or incrementing it each time they are run. So, for example, over here I have written power plus equal 1, but instead of 1, if I write it as power plus equal 4, then it will add 4 instead of 1, thus giving us the answer of 14. Same goes with minus. Instead of 1, we can change it and put it as 8, and thus it will gonna minus 8. We can also write it 2 times and do the same thing again and again. So as you can see, we can, if we do this, we get something like 4 because we have used the spell 2 times. Now we are going to talk about emergence of match spell. Match spell is also known as the match keyword is used in other programming languages as switch keys. This is used to make sure the readability of the code is more precise. Over here, this spell was introduced in Python 3.10. It was introduced to increase the readability of if-else statements. So, to understand that, we are using a spell to find out whether this fruit is what. Like, if we identify the fruit and it's apple, then apple goes into the function known as identify fruits, our spell, and it takes the fruit name and checks which case is matched. So match fruit, meaning match apple. So does apple match with apple? Yes. That's why we're gonna print it's an apple. But if it was something else, it will check the next switch case, which would be match fruit, which is, for example, mm, dragon fruit. So, does it match apple? No. Does it match banana? No. Thus, it will go for the default case. We use underscore to showcase it's a default case, and thus it will print it's an unknown fruit. This type of match cases has a very good performance in increasing our readability. It has more expressive syntax for pattern matching an algorithm. Instead of writing if else, we can use the match function to make it more easier to read for our users and the programmers who are working on it. And this there is a misconception of thinking that match function has better efficiency compared to if else statement, but no, match function and if else statement both work with same efficiency. Thus, using any of them works the same. Now to sum it up, we use if else statement to make decisions where if the condition is positive, we execute that statement which is inside of if, but if it's not, we pass on, go for elif, and if it is the conditions are met, we execute that statement, or else we will just print the block which is inside of else statement. Then there is indentation. Indentations are used to separate and let the Python know which part of the code belongs where. After that, we have handled error such as zero division error and index error. Knowing that we will first gonna try them, then put indentation and write the code we want to be tried. And if the code produces an error, we will expect that code in exception, or we name the error which might occur over here and the print a solution to it or something else, like to showcase what kind of error was there or to inform the user what is wrong with the input they have provided. After that, we have understood how to raise a custom error by using the raise function. So over here we had the function of add ingredients, and then we used the raise value error, and then we name it like ingredient quality must be positive to showcase that the ingredients the added number of ingredients were not positive. So if we make it a positive, it will gonna give us that there was no error and added ingredients were 3 units of ingredients. After that, we have understood the importance of increment and decrement, which can help us write a better code, such as we can increment a value by +1 or -2. And then we have understood the different way of writing if and else statement by using match spell. And that's it for today's video. See you in the next one.